amending the constitution for restructuring. That is one. Secondly, you also said that the PDP or any political party at that people shouldn't try to use the parties for their own selfish interests. People should play down on their own personal ambition in the interest of the entire party at large. But the governors in the PDP, they've become more like a little god in a way, in the sense that it's either the ways of the governors in the PDP or the highway. So how are you playing? What are you working on trying to reduce your influence so that others could also be able to have a say within the party? Whatever the governors say, that's what will happen in the PDP right now, as we know, and you know this, Your Excellency. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. If you're talking of the role of political leaders, right, we are singling out governors. But in every party, any party that has a governor, you cannot discount the views of the governor. Even in the case of the party that has only one governor, which is that? APGA. I don't think now you can take a decision. APGA can take a decision without. I think it comes with the. It's part of it in the sense that the governor is at the state level is the leader of the party. But I'm aware of this constant hue and cry about the influence of governors and so on. But there's a way that influence can be positively utilized. And so, I think we should be talking about the positive use of that influence. We should be talking about consulting. We should be talking about creating fairness, a fair system. We should be talking about not foreclosing ambitions of others. We should be talking about respecting people. We should be talking about building consensus. And in all of this, the governor and any leader at that level has a capacity to use his or her influence positively along this way, you know. But I know there's a general concern, not just in the PDP. You are also seeing the party, the APC, for example. The governors of the APC are not without influence. They are not without influence, even though they have a president there. So I think it's something that is not peculiar to the PDP. Because the governors are the leaders, especially a party in opposition. But what I think all Nigerians and party leaders should address, and I'm a governor also saying this, we should all work together to see how we can bring about reforms within our parties and review our processes and our practices such that the ordinary card-carrying member of the party, and that is the foundation, that's the strength of the party, so that they can have their say. You may have your way. Leaders always have their way, and in every democracy. They are leaders. It's leadership. But let it not be to the extent that people feel frustrated, people feel dejected, because as I said at the beginning, people make parties, not the other way around. So parties are about people. So we should empower the party members. We should create fair mechanisms. If you ask me, for example, if you review our processes, and we say, okay, as they do in America, party registration is electronic, okay? And party members vote electronically, for example. You are leaders, you have leaders, but you have instituted a mechanism that will recognize the sanctity of the individual vote within the party. That's the challenge we have. It's not just about PDP governors. So, that was what I told you in the House, 2008, I sponsored what at that time was considered to be a very controversial bill, the Political Parties Internal Democracy Regulation Bill. So this issue is as serious as that. And what we need to do is to address the processes and the procedures. So that when you want to select people for elective offices within the party or even people who will represent the party, once you ensure that every registered member votes and that their votes count, you are left with no option than to utilize your influence. You still have the authority and the influence, but you use it in such a way as to get people to do what is. That's what I think we should aspire to.
Your Excellency, you don't think senators are also leaders of the party, House of Reps members?
No, that's what I mean. All of them, not just
playing the roles alongside the governors, rather than the governors.
All of them, because there are also cases where, in the course of this reconciliation, some of the complaints I have had are not just complaints against governors, against members of National Assembly, for example. In states where you don't have governors, you have former governors, you have former National Assembly members. And so I think that's why I say, let us focus on the culture, on the democratic culture. And in the course of our deliberations and in the course of my interactions, I will look, because I feel very strongly about these issues. I think the challenge we have in our young democracy is how to guarantee that the average party member is enabled to exercise his or her democratic rights. We haven't quite gotten there. Talking of three-man delegates, people selecting people to go and blah, 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 all that is not the thing. That is abuse. So we need to get it right, and as the party with the greatest experience in this regard, these guys have just been there for 2 years, or not quite 3 years. You can see where they are. So I think we'll encourage the new leadership to put some of these processes in motion. Just applying technology alone solves most of this. So, and I intend to take some of these things quite seriously. Now, you talked about